Good morning, happy Monday, and welcome to Screen Junkies Universe. It's going to be a great, fantastic, wonderful week because I demand it. Spencer Gilbert's back.
Hey!
That's the best news all day. Dan Murrell is here.
Hi.
Joe Starr in the hair.
Hello.
Hair feels less. Is it more natural today? What's happening? Talk me through what's happening today.
Just a rough start to
It's
the
just
week,
like
man.
bed hair.
Yeah.
It's still
Yeah.
working for you. Rate
Thank
it
you.
in the comments 1 to 10. I think it works as bed hair. Wreck-It Ralph 2. The trailer came out. Ralph breaks the internet, which he himself says does not make sense as a title. Hawkeye's got CGI arms. We'll get into that in silver and black. Takes a step back, but first let's talk about that Wreck-It Ralph 2 trailer. Spencer, I know you got big feelings about this.
Do I?
I don't know.
I have the appropriate sized feelings about this, which is I hope this isn't the whole movie because it feels like the Emoji Movie going to app, making jokes about the app, but for the internet. The first one had so much heart. It seemed to have like a real, a moral center or a question about good guys and bad guys. This one looks at this point to be a theme park ride through various Disney properties.
The synergy is strong with this one. Did that turn you off, Rebel Alliance wearing shirt man?
Yes, this actually made me so mad I was wearing anything with any kind of IP on it today. I don't, like you said, the first movie had a lot of interesting themes and ideas, and I thought like a lot of really good messages for kids. And I know this, do you go against your social programming, stuff like that. I think those are really cool messages for kids who deal with like cliques and bullies and how they're supposed to dress to have. And I know that this was just a first trailer, but when you come off a movie that had like a really good soul and really cool characters and strong performances, and it is just like, here's Facebook, search engines, and then you just smack in the middle of Disney, the website, and they're just like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Oh, like,
Is that Kermit in the corner?
Yeah.
All right, so on a
Yeah, they'd never give the Muppets that kind of
real
do at that
estate.
park.
Yeah, exactly. I call shenanigans.
I absolutely call shenanigans.
What do you think? Does this feel cynical to you, or are you hopeful it'll have some of the charm of that first movie?
The trailer feels very much like here's all the things that are in our movie, and so I do hope that
There's a little more.
there's more to it because I agree. Like I got like the Emoji Movie. I was rolling my eyes so much when it's just like, oh, we're in Spotify now. Now we're in Candy Crush. It's like, yeah, I know.
Now we're in Just Dance 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I get that. Number one, if you're selling the movie, you're like, we'll just put all the most familiar things in the trailer. Like, okay, fine. But yeah, even things that just like beyond just the fact that there's references in it, which, a lot of people said about Ready Player One. I ended up liking the movie a lot, and I think it had more to it than that. But even things just like the extended look at the princess scene was just kind of like, okay. I mean, it's just, like, you got all of them together in one room, and it's just half of it is just them saying what happened in their movies. And again, like there's a lot of comedy that could be mined there, and I hope that that there's more to it than there may be than it shows us in this trailer. So the trailer makes it look entertaining, but very reliant on just like, here's a thing, which is sort of, if that's all you got, then I think you're like, ooh. Yeah. So the trailer itself doesn't really do a whole lot for me, but I really like the first movie, and I hope that there's more to this one than what's in this trailer, which there usually is.
I know a lot of people really liked the princess scene, and we're like, that's hilarious, that's true. But it's like, when it's weird to be meta about that joke of the like, did everyone assume your problems were solved? Because it's like, it's hard to be meta about that when you're the one that did it. When like you're the one that is responsible for all those tropes, and it's weird to then point at and be like, we did the thing. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. And then also, what was weird to me is they introduced the internet, and that really opens things up. And yet, again, it's a trailer, and it's only the first one, and who knows what the movie is really about.
But it's our job to react to it.
It's our job to react. Gotta
react.
But the fact that they introduced the internet, and it's like all positive and all like a fun, amazing wonderland. And I gotta feel like that's gotta be the point of the movie, is that there's some kind of dark side to this. Otherwise, it's literally like
A lie.
a lie. Yeah. So just some hint of what the conflict might be or what the story might be.
Well, I happen to have a plot synopsis right here,
really?
Spencer.
Let's do this.
Ralph breaks the internet. Wreck-It Ralph 2 leaves Litwalk's video arcade behind, venturing into the uncharted, expansive, and thrilling world of the internet, which may or may not survive Ralph's wrecking. Video game bad guy Ralph, voice of John C. Reilly, and fellow misfit Vanellope von Schweetz, voice of Sarah Silverman, must risk it all by traveling to the World Wide Web in search of a replacement part to save Vanellope's video game, Sugar Rush. In way over their heads, Ralph and Vanellope rely on the citizens of the internet, the netizens, to help navigate their way, including a website entrepreneur named Yes, voice of Taraji P. Henson, who is the head algorithm of the heart and soul trend-making site BuzzTube. So, to your point, it does sound like they're just going to make it a fun adventure
Scavenger
land.
hunt, yeah.
And maybe they'll make like a reference or two of like, those are the trolls. And we bury them in a basement or something.
But they did that in the
another
Emoji
lie.
Movie.
Yeah, but they already
here's the
did
trolls,
that.
Yeah. I wonder if they saw Emoji Movie and they're like, damn it.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we're wrong. Certainly the first movie was great. And if they're just trying to like use this as an advertisement for more of their IP, that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, because what's great about Wreck-It Ralph to me is that they were using the language and the world of video games to explore what makes someone good and what makes someone bad. You know, are you inherently good? Is it your actions? And like Pixar does, or Disney Pixar, like they take a really interesting question and explore it with like fun, bright colors and kids' cartoons. This one, trying to find a missing piece, like this is like a video game fetch quest. It's like find the missing
Can't
piece.
they just go to like FedEx or something? Is it a physical? Here's my question: is it a physical piece that's missing in the game,
Probably a
or
patch.
Is it a patch?
An online patch.
It's a patch. We need a patch.
Yeah. You got to find a patch.
A replacement part to save Sugar Rush. I don't know.
They're going to go through Facebook and find a patch.
None of this stuff makes sense. Like going as far back as Tron, it's always like when you're inside the computer, you're just making stuff up.
Yeah, it's like whatever. There's a light bike.
Yeah.
Shut up, kid. And yeah, again, I hope there's more to the movie. This is just the first trailer. I know people will be like, guys, it's just a trailer. Why are you judging? It's like, because it's a trailer reaction. That's what you want us to do, and we can't win. But
Happy Monday!
yeah, we're back.
Now who's the cynical one?
Yeah,
Literally all of us today.
It me. Yeah, you want to get me with like fun meta jokes? Give me those good data stealing, democracy ruining jokes when they walk through Facebook. But I don't think we're gonna get that.
Well, of course not, Joe. It's a Disney movie aimed at children.
Yeah,
they're not going to
gonna
lecture them about Russian trolls on Facebook.
There's the porn zone.
I know.
Here comes the Stormfront.
I'm going to 11 to make a point, but yeah, this is just gonna be like the Disney princesses being like, "Aren't we all terribly written characters?"
Well,
this company did it.
It's funny that they're all together though, because I think I told you guys this about the princesses. Like there was for the toys in particular, like the princesses are not supposed to know each other. They're all supposed to exist in their own, like lest they rally together and take over the world. I don't think that's why. Or is it? Is it? But they're not supposed to know each other. Like they can't even on the toy stores look at each other. So I'll go in sometimes to Target and just slowly
push Tiana and Mulan together.
push them together so that they can collaborate as they were meant to do, because we're stronger together, princesses.
It is nice to see the official designs for whatever will replace Disney Infinity.
Yes.
That's very exciting.
Kingdom Hearts 9.
Yeah. Jeremy Renner has fake arms. Did you know that?
Let's do
Did you
this.
hear
What?
about this? Let's roll into this one. So he has CGI arms in the upcoming comedy Tag. This is via the Playlist and the Ellen DeGeneres show.
I wanted this to be real life.
Get your cans, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, you're gonna
we
need your can. You're gonna need your
I have
cans.
like Tupac
There you go.
hologram arms in real life.
So about a year ago, it got out that he had an injury on set, and everybody assumed that this was on the set of Avengers. Yeah, we'll have to crawl down and be weird.
Technical difficulties.
This was, everybody assumed this was on the set of Avengers Infinity War, but in July he confirmed that it was a different movie. So now we know it was Tag because somebody, John Hamm, has been dropping dime on Renner on the Ellen DeGeneres show. Dropping dime.
Jeremy Renner, who broke both of his arms at the same time. Day 3 of production. We had 40 more days to go with a guy into. Now, keep in mind, this is a man who's done 100 Avengers movies and been fine. And he does a movie about playing tag. Both arms.
Yep.
He wore kind of green screen casts that were, that we eventually painted out in the edit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We eventually painted out. Yes, John. You
Hamm
and the
did
VFX artist painted it out.
I was there.
That's why VFX artists hate actors. It's just like, we did so many great special effects in this movie. No, you didn't.
I like the fact
Steve
that he just wandered in with his like 3/4 brandy dash of coffee in the morning and was like, great work, guys.
Yep.
It's a team effort.
Team effort. You're doing very well. So yeah, he had fake arms in this movie. How do you break your arms playing tag? And is this like official? And I don't mean this to be shitty, but is this officially how little Hawkeye does that he can't manage to get injured on an Avengers movie? But he does break his arms playing tag.
I haven't seen the movie, but isn't this
a
like
physical
extreme
game.
tag?
It's
that
a
they're
physical
playing?
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be
It is
watching for this
extreme
now.
play.
Like this is like Superman mustache gate for me.
It is.
It's
Oh.
like, now I'll only be looking at Jeremy
Renner's
Renner's arms
arms.
the whole time.
Yeah.
I wish they had just taken advantage of it and gone real weird. And one time he has tentacle arms.
Yeah.
And like one time he has robot arms.
From a lobster claw and,
Yeah.
and a whip.
Yeah.
We
Two
sent
just smaller Jeremy Renners.
we sent Danielle. This movie is coming up on June 15th. We sent Danielle to the junket. She said it's actually a very funny movie.
It looks really funny.
And
How are his arms at the junket?
I didn't ask her because I didn't know to ask her, but now I do. And on Thursday, we will find out. We will follow up on the Renner arms on Thursday. Yeah, this is about a real life story based on some group of friends that played tag into their adult lives. I need your thoughts on that as a thing. Like, does that seem fun or crazy?
Seems like a good bonding exercise. Not to not lose touch with your friends after high school. That's kind of fun. If it
Yeah.
keeps you together.
Yeah, I think there are worse things to obsess over about your childhood group of friends into your adulthood. Go for tag. Go for tag.
Seems healthy.
Yeah.
All right, will you guys play it with me? Ow.
Sorry, that was aggressive. That was really aggressive.
I wanted her to be it first.
Roth's arm just breaks.
And now the game is afoot.
This is a really violent game. I had no idea. Let's just do poker. Silver and Black. I'm so bummed about this. Sony Silver and Black has been pulled from the schedule. This
What?
actually, I know.
Which
I'm
one's
so
that?
sad. This one. So this actually happened on Friday, but we wanted to touch on it today. This is a Spider-Man spin-off that was set to be directed by Gina Prince Bythewood, who directed The Secret Life of Bees and Love and Basketball. It was set for February 18th, 2019. They basically pulled it off the schedule. They're not saying it's dead. They're saying they're looking for another place. It's based on the two Marvel characters, Silver Sable and Black Cat, who appeared, we talked about this, I think, last week, in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, played by Felicity Jones. Anyway, it's not connected to the Spider-Man universe, though. It was meant to be its sort of own thing. My guess is, we were saying this morning, Billy and I, like either they're waiting to see how Venom does, and or it's another factor in the impending Disney deal. You're it.
Oh, dang it. All right. Okay. Oh, I meant for talking?
You're it for all
Oh,
of it.
yeah. How many Spider-Man spin-offs are there at this point? Like rumored, canceled, they come up, they go.
we're
At
down to
least
just
7.
Really?
That
I thought
came,
we-
that came in and out.
Oh,
was-
yeah, wasn't there
there was
another one?
May at
Yeah.
one point. There
Yeah.
was this one. There was Venom.
There was the other Venom. There was the villain team up movie.
Oh, the Sinister Six
Sinister
one.
Six.
Yeah. No, we had a lot for a hot minute there.
There
We're
was
down to
supposed to be
one.
a separate Black Cat movie. Actually.
Right. And then
Yeah.
wasn't there another team up? Maybe this was it. There's a 2 female street level, or
I
no,
think
there's a man and a
might have been
woman.
it.
What's it?
Cloak and Dagger?
Cloak and Dagger.
That's
yeah.
a show.
Well, that's a show. That's
Okay.
coming on Freeform.
I'm losing track, man. I think that these all kind of blend together for me, and I'll believe them when I
Supposed to
see
be
them.
really good.
Okay, great.
Cloak and Dagger is supposed to be really good.
Awesome. But like, I still can't believe that Venom is even a real movie at this point. All the Sony Spider-Verse stuff is a big remains to be seen for me. So color me surprised if Venom does well and this comes out.
All right. Then
I'm not buying Sony stock. That's my that's the long and short of it.
I think I personally think, and I get it, that everybody's really prejudging Venom based on, like, they couldn't show the Venom yet because it just wasn't done. But then they did another one. What do you think?
I think Sony probably smartly learned not to put 7 films on your schedule before you figured out if the one that you're working on currently is going to do well.
It's a good
and
lesson.
This was on. I mean, who knows how long this is on the schedule? You have to move it at some point, or else it just sits there and people start asking questions like, "Oh, what's up with this movie's still on your schedule?" It's like you have to, if you put it on there, you have to pull it off at some point or move it or whatever. So I think this is a vestige of their foolhardy policy of scheduling 8 Spider-Man movies before they knew the one that they were currently working on was going to be any good, which it was not.
How much do you think this has to do with the Disney deal, Joe Starr, with the Rebels and the things and the Disney and the love?
I don't know. I think it has more to do with. I think it's more to do with lukewarm on Venom. I think the studio's maybe a little lukewarm on it, and again, they're not gonna be like, and here's what's next, especially after the Mummy tanked the Dark Universe. Maybe people are finally starting to learn a little bit. I think this would have been easier to pull off than Venom. Personally, I think this is fun. James Bond meets Rambo, is basically the logline, which could have been like a cool, fun movie. It's a little easier to do.
Can you pitch that plot? What's going on with that? What just happened? Because now I'm really sad. What is this movie?
That's what I think. Black Cat, not a spy. She's a cat burglar, but she reminds me more of like a charming Pierce Brosnan Bond, and then Silver Sable is just your Cable or your Rambo, your grim like murder death lady. And I don't know, that could have been a fun movie and easier to pull off to me than.
Would it be like, say, 2 cops that have very different personalities that are forced to work together?
Yeah, both of them lethal weapons in their own way. Sure.
One's a detective, days from retirement. The
one of them's a dog,
a golden retriever. Yeah.
With the Disney deal, though, it's not really going to affect these, right? These characters?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Because they're off doing their own thing, really, except for Spider-Man.
Well, it would have to affect everything that they're doing, everything that the company is doing eventually, but slowly. They wouldn't want to derail it.
We're going to have to see
away.
how much space and time Sony.com gets in Ralph Breaks the Internet. I think that'll be a real...
That's going to be... That'll be an Disney's probably also waiting to invest too much time on that, and before they know if it's even going to go through, they're probably waiting. And we're going to know soon enough. What's the date on Warner Brothers?
I want to say June. It's this month. You're gonna find out the deal, the court ruling on that merger, which will then dictate potentially what's going to happen with the Disney merger, which will then potentially dictate what's going to happen with, well, if Comcast is going to jump in, depending on how it rules, and then if they don't, it's a whole thing.
So if you're not plugged into our united subconscious hive mind, which we have here, because we are the Avengers, and we are also robots from Westworld, what we're talking about is there's going to be a ruling. There was an antitrust case in the attempted Time Warner AT&T purchase of Time Warner. We are going to find out the ruling of that this month. If AT&T is allowed to purchase Time Warner, which includes Warner Brothers, Comcast will then probably make a very aggressive move for Fox, which will change the nature of the impending Disney Fox deal.
the impending Disney dicking.
Dickney.
And actually, the dickery will get far more intense when it comes to us, the consumer, should that all go through. But that's another discussion for a later time.
And I was reading there are reports now that Disney is now preparing their own cash offering.
Yeah.
Snap.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's not a world that I live in, other than it affecting every intricate detail of
it
my
affects
job
your
here.
whole life.
It trickles
though.
down.
Yeah, it trickles down.
It'll affect our lives, and it'll affect our
tickles
our
down.
lives just as consumers.
Down.
The dickery, the dickering.
It must be really fun to be an employee at Fox right now, not knowing who's going to own you.
And
or
what
what's
that
gonna
means
happen
for
when
your
they do.
job or like anything. It must be really fun. Spencer,
imagine what that was.
I'm so happy you're back. This has been
I brought you guys some gifts.
You what?
Do you want some?
Yes.
Yeah, guys.
Presents.
Gifts.
Gifts.
Now he's setting a precedent.
Oh.
So now
I
when anyone goes on
brought
vacation,
Joe un platano.
Wow.
I got you
Dole.
mandarina, and I got Dan una manzana.
Oh,
Wow.
It's still cold.
Oh,
Straight from Barcelona.
Those Barcelona winters.
yeah.
Thank
They are
you.
so crisp and refreshing.
They seem like the ones in our office kitchen, but make no mistake,
No.
These
are the original.
Hey, gracias.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say you're welcome.
Really?
Isn't it Gennaro?
A week? Nothing?
They speak really good English over there.
No me gusta.
Yeah.
Oh,
De
mucho
nada.
gusto.
De nada.
De nada, mucho gusto. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, we suck. I was in Costa Rica too, so
Which
I
is
should
in New
also
Zealand.
be on point. Which, as you know, is in Northeast Asia.
It's not geography junkies.
Yeah.
Fruit, because it's delicious and nutritious and good for you. It's been so delightful to be with you three again. I love you guys. We're going to have Charting with Dan later today. We're going to have Honest Trailers tomorrow, Honest Trailers commentators. At 8 a.m. tomorrow, I'm going to be here to tell you all about Peter Jackson's latest movie, Mortal Engines, which he will have you know is not a YA dystopia. It's not. So what is it? I don't know. Joe Starr and I are going to talk about that. But before we go, spoilers ahead, because I want to check in with Mr. Spencer Gilbert about the latest episode of Westworld. And the main reason that I want to do that is I want to brag a little bit, because I haven't been able to in the last couple of weeks, about how many freaking things I predicted, dude.
I'll bet you have. Not saying you haven't. I'm just saying that this season, the first season, I was very confused but very interested, and I understood the overall goal of the season. This season, I'm very confused and very uninterested, and I
Okay.
think that it's really action heavy, which I think isn't a bad thing in general. But when the action is like really like dumb laser tag, like I just don't care. Are you watching Westworld?
Yep.
Yeah, it's just the they're walking towards the people and they're shooting them, and it's just so. Yes, Joe.
Yeah, that has. I said that yesterday as we were watching the most recent episode. It's weird that you have all of these weird like SEAL Team 6 teams.
Yeah,
They're
and then
terrible.
They
all
just
do
drive
is
straight up
just-
in a buggy and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
stroll towards the cowboys, and then you have like cyborgs with seemingly unlimited, physical abilities and stuff like that. I still don't
think
get the.
they're cyborgs.
Sorry, replicants, whatever. And
Not replicants
They're hosts.
either.
hosts, yeah.
They're robots.
It just seems like when you watch a show like Game of Thrones, which has comparable budgets and what they're able to do with
Does it?
fight scenes.
Because Game of Thrones is very...
Fair enough. Okay, you're right. It's probably more expensive. But even
But it
in
has a
earlier
prestige
seasons,
budget.
Yeah, I remember Westworld is really expensive.
Yeah.
You'd think that they could get some better choreography, and also like the first season, I understood that we were trying to find out the greater overarching plan of the park, and we were trying to find out if these robots could achieve consciousness. I don't even know what we're doing this season overall.
I think this season the idea is, so last season was what is life, meaning like, are you truly alive once you're self-aware, right? Which is like the human perspective, because we're self-aware. And so we say that that is the defining factor of life, is consciousness, because we have it. Meanwhile, and then we determine that other species don't. And so therefore they are lesser than us. That's what we do. Everything that we do as human beings is dictated around our perspective, right? So this, I think the first season was questioning, like, is that true? Are you fully aware when you're conscious, when you have memory?
Yeah, but even grounding that more, and I think it's important to take these highfalutin questions and ground them.
Let's take those
It was like,
highfalutin.
is Dolores gonna figure out what's going on?
Yeah, and then, so in this season, I think the question is how crazy is Dolores? That's not the question, but I already know the answer to that. So I think this question is about what is life in terms of do you in effect need to have death in order to truly have life? Because without the possibility of real death, and that's why she said we're free now,
rid
without
of
the
the backups.
possibility of a final end, you never really live. But at the same time, what the humans are searching for is to enter, and I think that what they'll ultimately do, I think what Ford wants them to do, the host, is to exit this physical realm and fully enter the digital realm, where for him, that's actually where they can be free.
I want Ralph to show up there.
And then Ralph will
hey,
And cowboys!
Violent delight, violent end.
and inexplicably break but not wreck it. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Well, those are my thoughts on what the overarching. I do agree with you. The action was a little weird, and I was like, "Wow, they're really bad at their. They need to get fired. They're
They
dead,
do.
but if they were still alive, they should definitely get fired. They're really bad at their
Can I
job."
just say this show sounds exhausting?
It
And
is.
I'm
It
is
very
a little
glad
bit.
now.
It is.
I'm now feel for all the derision that I took for not watching it. Like I now feel like I've made the right
If
decision.
the idea of a possibly a very hard to actually kill robot getting shot once and then going down really hard, but then an 80-year-old human Ed Harris getting shot 6 times and still somehow clinging to this mortal coil
called
bothers
grit,
you,
Joe.
Yeah.
then maybe don't dip into this one.
These are like really broad, kind of silly things in terms of like, yeah, it's like, oh, contrast, right? Do you need death to have life? Do you need pain to have pleasure? Do you need suffering in order to really reveal who you are? All of these things. But the thing about the algorithm that's inaccurate is like the whole idea is we will be able to digitally copy you and really understand the human mind if we give you a world with no consequences. But we don't live in a world with no consequences. So that's actually an inaccurate version of that person.
Yeah, and all this stuff is fine and it's super interesting, but like you still need to use those questions, use characters that you can understand and like, or not even like, but at least understand, characters whose motivations you can understand to explore them. And I feel like we've lost that character by Dolores going nuts, and I guess it's Thandie Newton.
It is.
But she's one of 7 characters whose trails we're following, and I don't like anybody else or particularly care about them.
I like Maeve. I still am interested in Bernard. In the sense of and Ford's re-entry. I get who's the third guy that was in the picture of Arnold and Bernard? Who's the
don't
third
know.
dude? Exactly.
Yeah. Dun dun
Dun,
dun.
dun, dun. You know what? You're it.
Oh wait, who's it? I'm it. Joe's it.
Yay! You're it. You're it. Billy's it. Everybody's it. Thank you for joining us today. Watch Charting with Later today with Dan.
Charting with Later.
Starting with later.
Coming up, Dan.
Coming up in Dan minutes. I did so well today until just now. Okay, bye.